Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the Founders in LA podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Cole, and this is an opportunity to shine the spotlight on some of the exceptional startup founders we have as part of the LA community in an unedited, one take, organic conversation. With us today is John King. Thank you for coming down to the studio today, John.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, Ethan.
I'm excited for this one. This is going to be a great episode. But first, a word from our sponsors. Founders in LA is brought to you by Unita. Unita Club is the co-working space that sets itself apart. With 3 locations in the South Bay, Unita is where creativity flourishes. Unlike traditional offices, they provide an inspiring environment where ideas can thrive and businesses can grow. With Unita, there's no hidden fees, flexible terms, options for dedicated offices, and unlimited access to conference rooms, a photo studio, a podcast studio much like this one, plus standard and 3D printers and 24/7 access at any of their locations in Redondo Beach, in Manhattan Beach, Hermosa, and El Segundo. They're local champions who support neighborhood businesses, open their event spaces to nonprofits, and celebrate art, music, and culture. Join Unita Club and experience co-working like never before. Learn more at www.unita.club. That's www.unita.club. We're also brought to you by the Product Managers Association Los Angeles, available at pma.la. They are the largest professional organization for product and designers in LA. With more than 3,000 members from over 500 companies, they host monthly meetups, organize the Product Leader Council, and have a mentorship program where they connect working product managers with students from underrepresented groups to help build a better and more diverse next gen. To learn more about PMA, go to pma.la. To learn more about the mentorship program, go to pma.la/mentorship. Our guest today is John King. He's the founder of TAPP. And John, would you just give us a 30-second description of what TAPP is?
Sure, Ethan. I'm glad to be here. And TAPP is a social platform that puts your privacy and peace of mind first. With TAPP, you can share awesome HD videos and photos with your closest friends and family in your own very private feed. You can also chat with them using end-to-end encryption, which is HIPAA compliant and SOC 2 compliant. So your conversations are safe. And you're in total control of all the posts that you have, and just to have an enjoyable and calming, relaxing way of browsing content from your friends.
So it's like a social network, but it's not, broadcasting to the world. It's like 4 groups of friends, basically in place of a better form of a group chat or something, but you have more availability to have other features to share videos. It's not just kind of this group chat that just kind of goes forever.
Yeah, exactly. We mindfully think about how we can create features that are mentally healthy
Mm.
and positive. So our like button doesn't have a counter. You
Mm.
can like something, but there's no counter, so you don't feel as though you're obligated to like something because some other friend liked it and you didn't, or as a content owner, you don't feel like you're missing out on 10 million likes.
Yeah. I it makes me think about, probably applications in the high school range, middle school range. I could not imagine what it would be like growing up in a world where high school didn't end at the end of the class, right? End of the bell, end of day bell. Like in this world now, sure, the end of day bell rings, but then, everyone's on social media. So you're still doing the comparison. I imagine what happens these days is they'll post something and just like stare at their phone, hoping that they get some number of likes, and that number of likes is variable to whatever their situation is and will make or ruin their day or week or whatever. Um, yeah, this idea of people can like it, but you're not counting it. It's not a metric that you're trying to uphold or keep or maintain. I can't imagine the pressure on high school, middle school kids right now to maintain that popularity through the phone. And oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're trying to eliminate cyberbullying as well. That's why you're in control as a user to invite only people you want onto your platform. There's no public search.
Hmm.
So people can't just randomly search you and befriend you. And of course, you don't feel obligated to include someone that's not within your inner circle.
Right.
So that just makes it much healthier and a safe place to be.
So, love to learn more about, how you started TAP. Like, what was your journey into it? How you decide to dedicate your life to making a I don't want to say more equitable comes to mind, or just a social platform that doesn't have the intensity of folks pressured to to count the likes, to count the impressions, to count the number of followers and friends. How did you find yourself building this?
Well, the original journey was TAP was always a private platform. Pre-COVID, we were building a travel collaboration app just for your friends and family. And as soon as that event kind of took the world by storm, we realized that even though we had an MVP already built and ready to go and shipped
Right.
onto the App Store, we launched it anyways, knowing full well that there wasn't going to be much activity. Everyone was locked down, and people weren't going to travel during this period of time. And at that moment in time, we had no idea where this was going to go.
Mm.
So, being kind of at home trying to figure out how to pivot was something that kind of came natural, just because at that moment in time, yeah, I've been going out with this girl, and as a girlfriend of mine, we've been together for a few years, and so she has mental health issues that she's been trying to deal with throughout
Right.
her childhood and adult life. And so it was great to kind of get her input on this next journey, which was social networking, and how social media today is broken and how it's toxic. And just getting some of her ideas from the beginning to kind of anchor what this next phase would be, which was to pivot from travel into social networking.
Right. And then it was is there a specific moment that you decided that, hey, it really needs to stay closed when you're moving to social? You're going from a collaboration platform for families for travel. At what point was it that you decided, hey, we should go social, but we should keep it closed?
Yeah. What happened was, as we were pivoting and tinkering with how social would look like, unfortunately, my girlfriend, you know, claimed her own life.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
and and that
ugh.
really drove my team and I to figure out how we can make a better platform for everyone. And it's not about just anyone that has, you know, mental disorders or aren't well in that sort of light, but for humankind. Um, Social has become toxic in so many ways, where there are healthier ways of still staying connected and feeling good about yourself without having to pull these engagement triggers along the way. And so, we felt we had a not only um, a North Star, but a mission for the team to really build something that was healthier and more positive.
Yeah, and it is definitely an opportunity for you guys to take a look at what is happening in the social space. I mean, I think at that period of time, a lot of folks were reevaluating their values and what they spent their time doing. Having the whole world stop in place for a year was wild and almost feels like a different world right now. But coming out of it, thinking about the mental toll of these things, I can't help but think that potentially in the not too distant future, I feel like there's already studies out there that maybe social media will be like the cigarettes of the 2010s and 2020s, where we'll look back and like, oh wow, like we thought it was good for us. At the beginning, they said, it's you're able to connect with people. You can connect with people who are across the country, across the world, and perhaps we'll look back in hindsight and say, whoa, those things that we thought were actually good for us turned out to be very, very harmful. Cancerous in a societal form, in terms of our mental health versus some sort of physical ailment. I have to imagine there may also be some other thing that comes out of here for people spending so much time with their heads in their phones. But that'll be for another day.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, privacy is the future, and with the way things are going with machine learning and all this conversation about AI and deep fakes that are already here,
Mm.
features that are going to be available to copy your voice and mimic it. You know, we, grandparents always get spoofed these days. I read an article a few days ago where I think 8 billion Americans have been spoofed, uh, or I'm sorry, $8 billion last year had been criminally taken away from seniors because they've been spoofed. So, our insight into what's going on, not just on the social level of a social media platform, but also the trickery that comes along with deep fakes. We want to be able to create a platform, a safe haven for people to go to know that that's trusted content and that's not fake.
Well, so that's very interesting. A very important piece to tap. This idea, and this has been conversations come up, I think, a couple times. I think in this podcast, and certainly in conversations outside of it. But we're living in a world where AI generation for content is so strong and so easily attained. It's going to be difficult to know what's real, to know what is actually created by a person, or a vision of a person, or their voice, or whatever. Your platform is giving folks the opportunity to like stay, to be safe, to understand that the things that on this app are coming from trusted people, and these are in small social platforms, social networks, so that they're able to trust the content and trust the people. Whereas outside of it, it'll be the Wild West, and in the not too distant future, it will be challenging to know what is real, and what is just invented by someone, or even potentially a bot.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, bots can be good, but bots can also be bad, and it really all depends on who's building it and why. So, yeah, a place that people feel safe is what we're trying to build here.
That's incredible. Well, thank you so much for sharing, John, and grounding this in Los Angeles. I'd love to step into your most LA moment. What's the most LA thing that's ever happened to you? It could be tech related or not.
Well, being in line and overhearing conversations of technology these days, being in an entertainment town,
Right.
entertainment industry, which I was a part of in my past, and having to hear those conversations still, but being able to find conversations about tech uh, everywhere that I seem to go in public from time to time, if you keep your ears open, you'll hear someone talking about some technology stuff versus some film or television.
Oh, it's interesting. Since the next LA thing is, it's not just an entertainment town. It's a tech town where just you're overhearing conversations, and it's not just about scripts and and scenes.
Yeah, and I think technology's pretty much become the forefront of people's minds these days. And of course, you're going to hear a lot about ChatGPT.
Oh, it's everywhere with good reason. It does a lot. Well, thank you again, John. This is John King, the founder of TAPP, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, Ethan. It was great to be here and to share with you and your audience what we're doing and be a part of this LA tech scene.
Awesome. And it's available on the App Store for both Apple and Google.
Yeah, it will be available for Android in July, but we're currently on the App Store today for iOS.
Excellent. By the time of airing, so we're recording this in June, but we will be publishing this in August. So for those out there, check it out. It's TAPP, TAPP. Well, thank you again, John. We'd like to thank our sponsors, PMALA and Unida. I'd like to thank you all for listening to us. If you like what you hear, please smash the subscribe button. Sign up for our newsletter. It has bonus content and a transcript of the episode, and links to some of the topics we covered today. You can do that at foundersinla.com. I'd like to thank you all for joining us again, and we'll catch you next time on Founders in LA.